to state upfront that I cannot tell you, we cannot reveal anything as far as their discussions are concerned. This evening, because they stayed here very late, they closed about 5 a.m. in the morning. Today's opening ceremony of the Council of Ministers had to be pushed to 5 p.m. this evening. So I cannot also confirm when that meeting will end. It could go into the wee hours of the next day. So today and tomorrow are dedicated to the ministers' meeting. And then the day after is when the heads of state would convene so it's like a progression. The technical people meet, they argue, they cut the T's, dot the I's, disagree to agree, and they come up with a consensus document, which is recommended to the Council of Ministers. They also look at it, and they then recommend to the heads of state for final ratification. So that's the process. So as I said, everything seems to be going on very well. Our delegates are all upbeat. They are conducting their meetings in comfort, and we look forward to a continuation in that kind of atmosphere. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, CEO. Appreciate those comments. And to add on to what he says about regarding the logistics, I think everybody that's been inside the center can see what is in place for the summit and believe that Gambia is ready to host this summit. As he said, the meetings have begun already, and delegates that have been coming in, we've been hearing remarks from them that they were actually happily surprised to see the state of the center as it is and the resources that we've been deployed, whether it's for their accommodations, transportation, inside the conference center and eating. So seeing is believing. A lot of people didn't think we'd actually get to this point, but alhamdulillah, here we are. And on that note, I'd like to ask His Excellency, the Minister of Information, to make a few remarks, please. Excellency.
Thank you very much. Am I audible now? Yes. Thank you. I think I'll just have to buttress on what the CEO has said, that everything is in place. Logistics-wise, the heads of the different governments will start coming in tomorrow, Friday. Foreign ministers are already in town, and what is important is that there's 100% representation. It means that all OIC member states are represented in the Banjul summit. Now, the preparatory phase is going on. The senior government officials met in the past 2 days, coming up with resolutions, preparing the communique and the final declaration, on issues ranging from the Palestine-Israel conflict, issues on women, youth, and other issues affecting the Muslim world. So we cannot go into those details because those things have to go to the Ministerial Council. Tomorrow is Thursday. Yeah? Now, today and tomorrow, and the heads of states and governments will, on Saturday, they'll make the final communique and the final declaration. Logistics-wise, I think everything is in place, from protocol to security to accommodation to vehicles. Everything is in place to pick up the other delegates at the airport. Media-wise, coverage is good. We are set. So far, so good. The event is a success. So far, so good. Let's keep fingers crossed that it will continue like this. But we have no doubt that it will continue like this. And come Sunday, May 5th, when the event is over, we can boldly declare that it is a success. What is important is that everything so far is in place. 57 member states are represented. Logistics 100%, security 100%, protocol 100%. Administrative bit has been going on for the past 2 days without any issues. So as I speak, there are no glitches, there are no problems. And yes, so I'll let Mfali to now give us an update of what is happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. We appreciate that. Let's go straight to Mr. Fadera, who will give you the update regarding the issues surrounding the summit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson, Honourable Minister, CEO. With your permission, good afternoon to all of you. My name is Mfali Fadera. Really, when you have your boss speak, you don't have much to say, and I think the Honourable Minister has also eloquently expressed the sentiment of the Secretariat and the government as a whole. From our point of view, it's been 2 days, but a very successful 2 days indeed. And, you know, a testament to that is the interactions that you have with the delegates, all of them, from their own mouth, the Gambia has exceeded their expectation in terms of the logistics, in terms of the meeting facilities, the organization, the planning, etc., etc. So for us, we've seen this opportunity. Some see it as a challenge, where some see challenges, we see as an opportunity to sell the Gambia to the world. That is our commitment, that is our vision, and that is what we've been working towards. So far, in terms of the confirmations, just like the Minister said, 100% confirmation from member countries. Precisely, we have well over 40 VVIPs and VIPs coming to the summit. And this includes presidents, it includes prime ministers, it includes vice presidents, deputy prime ministers across the board. So we are really, really thrilled and excited as a country, and we are looking forward to the opportunity to showcase the best of Gambia. We want to present the best of Gambia, Gambian hospitality that we are known for globally. So as a country, they are our guests. So our message to all and sundry is to come out and give a befitting, welcome and reception in line with our trademark tradition as the Smiling Coast of Africa. Let's come out. It's a moment of pride for the Gambia. Nobody should be left behind, even if it means, just waving your flag at them. They are our guests. We should make them feel at home and then have a great time in the Gambia. So with that said, I think, Mr. Chairman, it's about time that we invite questions from the press. And then, we don't endeavor to keep you here, so I know you guys are busy as well. So maybe I will hand over to you, and then you can moderate the next phase of the press conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Federa. Thank you, Mr. Federa. Appreciate your comments. And just before we get to the questions, just remember, this project has been at least 5 years in the making to get to this point. So a lot of what we're seeing now is the final ramp up to making it happen. But behind the scenes, there's been a lot of work, a lot of talking going on. And His Excellency the President has been extremely supportive of the whole process throughout this. I'm sure Ambassador Dibba and his team will tell you that. So for us, it's a moment of pride, and Gambians should be really proud that here we are. Who could think a small country like Gambia could have an OIC summit, a conference, a summit which is second only to the UNGA, and it's happening in the Gambia, and we're making it happen. So, alhamdulillah, let us all have that sense of pride, and let us all carry that positivity with us. On that note, we'd like to invite some questions from the press. Please, we have a microphone over there, so if you can put up your hand, and then when you speak, please give us your name and the media house you're from. Thank you. Questions? Please stand up so we can see you. Maybe you can talk. Maybe we can hear you anyway. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Sankule.
Thank you very much, Sangule. We have a very significant number, just like I said, just as you know. The movements of heads of state, is subject to changes. We are seeing additions, but we are also seeing numbers coming down. So for now, we have about, just like the minister said rightfully, we still have about 48 hours, 72 hours to go. And we cannot confirm exactly the number, but just like I said, more than 40 VVIPs and VIPs, prime ministers, presidents, deputy prime ministers, vice presidents have confirmed. But as we inch closer, certainly, and we will be able to make these concrete assurances, and in some cases where we determine the need to do so, even mention the countries. But as you also know, due to the prevailing global peace and security condition around the world, we cannot also kind of divulge some of this specific information as to the movements of heads of state and VIPs. So, but that being the case, I can assure you, you can tell your editor safely that definitely we are indeed expecting, quite a number of VVIPs. Thank you.
And
yeah.
Oh,
go ahead.
Is it on? Can be very fluid. And I think we've learned from that in the past couple of days. In our last press conference, we announced that Erdogan was coming because it was confirmed he was coming. And then later it changed because of domestic issues that are so important, he must attend to them, and he could not come. What we are trying to avoid is to tell you that X, Y, Z is coming, and then tomorrow something happens and they cannot come. So we are trying to be very careful with revealing who is coming. It has also security implications. Some of them don't want to announce that they are coming now so we are waiting until we've confirmed that they've really taken off from their respective destinations before we can be sure that they are coming. So for now, what we can give is a global figure that we are expecting, but like he said, this can change, it can increase, it can decrease.
Thank you, Honorable. And also, let us remember, the success of a summit is not dependent on how many heads of state arrive. It's the representation. And as Mr. Federa said, we're going to have 100% representation. So if it's not a head of state, if it's a foreign minister or deputy prime, that is a head of state basically representing that country. So that is a success of the thing. Next question, please. That's it? Anybody?
The schedule for bilateral meetings are, for lack of a better word, or just like the name suggests, are bilateral arrangements between two countries. Usually they are held in closed sessions. I'm not sure I understand your question well, but we are not really very much privy to the bilateral arrangements that take place between countries. But I know as far as the sessions are concerned, the preparatory ministerial meetings, as well as the senior official meetings, are out of bounds for the media, except for the opening. So I don't know whether that truly addresses your question, but in terms of the program, we are not able to make that public. But what we can definitely make public, and I'm happy to share it with you, is the program for the summit itself, the work program and the agenda. We can make that available. Then you will be able to know how the day will look like and the lineup of speakers for the summit itself. Yes.
A follow-up question from Adolphus Mawolo.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if, by the course of the report, it's going to be a press conference or some sort of statement issued by the foreign ministers.
The foreign ministers. Yes. So what happens is the foreign ministers meeting as well as the senior officers meeting are all preparatory. So up until the outcomes are debated and agreed upon at the summit, definitely there will be no press conference officially from the OIC General Secretariat. So there is a press conference scheduled, but it's not happening tomorrow. It is happening on Thursday, on the last day of the event itself. Sunday. So once we confirm the time and the venue, most definitely our proactive media chairperson and his team will definitely communicate that and will facilitate your attendance.
May I add on to both of your questions? Bilaterals, like I've just received a request from one country that when their head of state comes, for us to film that, and then that will be shared. Yesterday, there was a bilateral that happened between Qatar and the Gambia, and we filmed that, and that footage shared. We have official videographers. Obviously, it's restricted for outside media to go in there, but official media can. It will not happen all the time, but when it does happen, be rest assured we will share that with the media when we can. Mm-hmm. And going towards you, all like the senior officials meeting, the foreign ministers meeting, all that work is leading up to the plenary on Saturday, as Mr. Federa said. So it's very unlikely no information will come out of that until it becomes public on Sunday, inshallah.
If I may, just to supplement what the last two speakers said, yes, there are bilaterals happening, but in our logistics and administrative announcements, we've told member states that they can indicate by applying. When we know when you have such meetings, there's always the opportunity and potential that countries, find it, very convenient. Instead of paying fares, traveling all the way, if you meet your colleagues, it's good to have certain bilateral discussions. And these are going to happen, as he quoted Qatar. I did one yesterday. We have some already who have indicated, and we'll be making provision for that. So, but these are not the significance that the spotlight should be on the presidents. This is why we have no side events, because it's a summit of heads of state. At the on the fringes they can meet, discuss bilateral issues, but those are, as the name implies, they are bilateral. They are not really summit oriented, but we have made room for that, and some countries have indicated their willingness to meet. So, but as and when they prefer, we will let you know, and then you can come in and then talk to them or collect your stories. Yeah.
So if you have, if you have any particular requests to interview any delegation, just make it known to the media chairperson, and they will facilitate internally. If approval is granted, definitely that should not be a problem. Yes.
The necessary arrangements. We know already some of you have indicated your desire to talk to some of us, and we are available through mutual arrangements. That should be.
Also, before Sankore comes, again, adding on to what CEO said, if any media has requests to interview dignitaries, we cannot accommodate everybody, but we'll do our level best. We'll go all out to do what we can as a media team to assist you in the process.
Just one more question from me, sir. Of course, so many people are looking forward to the heads of state meeting on Saturday. I just want to know if it's going to be an opening ceremony wherein they will be making speeches just like the ministerial.
Exactly. There will be a
lineup of speakers. Mr. Fadera has indicated that he will share this thing. I guess the work program is no longer a secret. We'll be having the usual, opening ceremonies, after which statements will be given, but they come in an order of presidents, heads of governments, ministers, and so on and so forth. Yeah, there will be.
And to add on to that, anything happening inside the plenary hall, the opening ceremonies, all of that will be streamed. It will be made available in the media center outside, and also from the official photographers and videographers, so you'll have access to all of that information. Because obviously space is at a premium, and it's limited how many we can take you to these places, but we want to make sure that everybody has the content that they need afterwards.
Fantasy say OIC in-house media. My question is, it was made mention that a lot of the discussions made cannot be made privy to the public. At the end of the summit, when the heads of states have decided and have their hands on all the conversation, would there be some sort of announcement of agreements made here in Gambia before they leave?
Yes, absolutely. There is going to be what is called the Banjul Declaration, and this will be read out to the public. And then I think there's a press conference also where the incoming chair would oblige some to answer some of your questions. Yeah.
And also to add on to what CEO said, the Gambia has started taking over chairmanship of various arms of the OIC already, leading up to the one on Saturday when His Excellency takes over that chair. So a lot of the things will be happening. And again, as information comes, we'll share that with you. Any more questions?
First, for the next 3 years, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry for Foreign Affairs, becomes the chair of the senior officers of the OIC. And then our foreign minister becomes the chair of the foreign ministers meeting, summit. So the actual summit will be chaired by the president, or high-level meetings, because the summit is every 36 months. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everybody okay? We thank you very much for coming. Oh, okay, one more, no problem.
Okay. By the way, I am Moto El Baji from the Star TV. My question is, how prepared is the Gambia in taking up the mantle of leadership of the OIC?
In a direct answer to your question, summits like these have what is called a theme, and already you know our theme. Themes are created, they are an intrinsic kind of expression of the roadmap. So if you look at our theme, Gambia has clearly indicated the way we want the OIC to take in the next 3 years. And the next level, of course, would be, as a country, we will come together and then create strategic goals. arising from the goals, we will have our immediate objectives, and we'll have an implementation plan and a way of checking the deliverables, whether the goals that we have set ourselves are on course or not. So I can assure you, we had a deliberate kind of, we took a deliberate position to create that theme. And we want Gambia to make a difference in terms of charting the way forward for the OIC. Gambia is not solo in this process. We are acting on behalf of the Africa region. And during our consultations prior to this, member states have expressed the opinion, they've confided in us and shared with us some of the objectives that they would like to see, happen. But of course, there's the issue of subsidiarity in this. As we always say, we are not organizing, we are hosting. But as host, you are in the driving seat. So the rest of the organization will follow you, as far as possible, as long as it is in line with the strategic goals of the organization. You will have the support of member states.
Thank you, CEO. Okay, this is going to be the last one, please.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mona Jallo, the publisher of the Africa Agenda magazine. Basically, we've done a publication on the Gambia OIC Summit and the Gambia potentials, hidden potentials in investment potential in tourism. So we've just received the copies, and we decided to allocate 57 copies to OIC so they can give it to the 57 member state and the support to showcase the Gambia in the best positive light. So how do we go about this? Because we've got 2 days to go. And unfortunately, CEO is extremely busy, so we couldn't get hold of him. So yeah, my question is, how do we go about this to give you the 57 copies so you can give it to your member state countries?
Thank you very much. I think how it is going to be done, I would leave that to the brand and communication manager. But I just want to seize this opportunity to commend you for that initiative. And it's collective business. There's so much we can do, but if collectively we all bring in our efforts, we can really market our country in the best form possible. The whole objective for us is, among others, to make sure we are able to attract inward investment to this country. We come from a very privileged membership organization. Perhaps if you look at the world's resources in terms of financial resources, you will find most of the resources have their origin in the Ummah. So we should not take all the time on political issues. But I believe at the root cause of most of the political issues confronting the Ummah are socio-economic issues. And if we can use our chairmanship to address those socio-economic issues, we would have succeeded in addressing the problems plaguing the Ummah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your questions. I think time is limited. Yeah, I just want to add on to what the CEO said. This is a great opportunity for Gambians to promote brand Gambia. People are coming to see what we have here. People that maybe have only kind of heard of this country, but they're coming to see what we can actually do here. So let's, all put our best foot forward, as we've been doing, and just keep going and promote it. But I would like to give the last word to Mr. Federa, Head of Brand and Communications, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tunkara. I just want to buttress CEO's point in relation to Gambia's vision for the next 3 years for the OIC. As a country, we are looking at this as a huge opportunity. It's a moment of great pride and excitement for the Gambia, because just like CEO rightly said, Gambia will be in the chairmanship of the organization, and whenever anything happens in relation to the organization, the world will look towards us, to us. And as a country, we are ready for that task. We are ready to rise to that occasion and make sure we lead the organization in a responsible manner. But at the same time, we also want to showcase the best version of the Gambia. So everybody should gear up and know that the next 3 years will witness a lot of OIC movements in the Gambia. in the form of exhibitions. The OIC is huge, and it deals in a lot of things, they're in science and technology, in trade and investment, banking and finance, development finance, etc. The Gambia will be in the forefront. We will not be at the backstage of that. So let us all come together, just like the young lady has done, pushing from behind, supporting. Anybody that is out there that is interested in the things that the OIC is, in fact, I'm sure CEO would, at a more opportune time, come to indicate that we will, in fact, have a national conference on how to approach the Gambia's next 3-year, to involve everybody and make sure no one is left behind, from the private sector, the public sector, the CSOs, everybody. So as a country, we see this as a huge, huge opportunity, a great moment of hope for the country, and we'll make sure together we do it just like we have done this great summit. So back to you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you very much, and it's great to end this press conference with such stirring and visionary remarks. Well, we asked a question. Okay, go ahead, please. Nobody left out.
Thank you so much. This will be great. So, my name is Aliou Diallo from the FATU network. Basically, my question is: we understand that we have a lot of guests that will be coming, and then we understand there were plans to have some planes parked in Dakar. We wanted to understand how many planes would be parked in the Gambia and what are some of the financial implications it will have on the Gambia. Thank you.
At the airport to park the planes that are going to bring our guests into town. Now we are saying that depending on the wings, the size of the wings of the planes, if it did occur that there is not enough parking space for the planes that will bring the guests, if that is a contingency, we'll take some to be parked in Senegal at Yoff International Airport. Now this part of the bilateral between Gambia and Senegal, and it comes at no cost to the Gambia. It's for free. But it might not happen. We might find a situation where there is enough parking at the airport that all the planes that are coming will be able to park there. We might not need to go to Senegal. But if it happens that there is not enough space and there are more planes than we expected, and there's a leftover that cannot park at the airport, they'll go and park in Senegal and wait for their guests. Does that answer your question?
And on that note, Mr. Chairman, if you allow me, there is no guest coming to this summit that is being hosted outside of the Gambia. All the guests coming will be housed and accommodated here. I want that to be extremely clear. So just like Doctor said, it's just a contingency plan. When you plan for eventualities, and that's what we did. So, I just thought to, make that point.
Well, the analogy is you have a family, you have your home, prosperity comes, you have a car, your wife has a car, your daughter has a car. You go to your neighbor and say, my space is tight. So there's nothing wrong with that. So it's nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Federa, as well, for that point regarding the accommodation, because our accommodation subcommittee has worked tirelessly to ensure that everybody is housed here and comfortably to their standard. So on that note, we thank you all for coming. We will alert you if there's any further media conferences. We're looking to do more over the next few days. So as information comes, we want to make it very clear and transparent to everybody. Thank you very much for coming.
Hello viewers, you're still watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we are broadcasting live from the OIC Conference Center here in Banjul, where the Gambia is currently hosting the 15th OIC Summit here in the Gambia. There you had, a press conference held by the media subcommittee of the organizing committee, and there you had, of course, the CEO of the OIC Gambia Secretary, Ambassador Yankuba Diba, and of course, Dr. Ismail Assisa, who is the Gambia's Minister of Information, Mfali Fadera, who is the head of branding and communication, and of course, Lassana Tungara, who is head of the media subcommittee. I mean, you have had them updating the public through that press conference as to the level of preparedness regarding this summit. I mean, you heard from the CEO of the Gambia Secretariat, Yankuba Diba, saying, I mean, all the representatives of the 57 members of the OIC are in the country, and certainly, I mean, in the next 48 hours, I mean, some heads of state who have confirmed arriving in the country, I mean, will start getting into Banjul International Airport, and protocols arrangement are in place, transportation as well, and accommodation to lodge all the guests is also in place. I mean, like he said, I mean, the government is fully responsible for the principal, and of course, when I say the principal here, I'm talking about the head of state, I mean, who is coming together with 4 other people. And of course, I mean, some delegations are coming with 20 to 30 people, which is what signifies the importance that some countries attach to this summit. As we speak, I mean, they couldn't tell us exactly the outcomes of the meeting of the senior government officials and ambassadors, which started on Wednesday, and we start actually on Wednesday and yesterday. I mean, they stay here until around midnight, I mean, just to make sure they are able to debate exhaustively, I mean, some of the agenda on the table. And certainly, I mean, like you have heard from them, I mean, Dr. Ismail has also confirmed that some of them will start arriving in the next 48 hours, even though they couldn't confirm who actually is coming from. But then from the information we gathered, I mean, some presidents rather are coming, of course, I mean, unconfirmed information, I would say, but I mean, we understand Guinea-Bissau, Djibouti, Sudan, Turkey, Cyprus State, of course, Libya, Mauritania, Senegal, and Sierra Leone and Togo will be coming. And of course, as far as those are the presidents, and then vice presidents, we're expecting Uganda and Cote d'Ivoire and Algeria. Their prime minister is expected in Banjul, and China, we have the vice chairman, and then UAE Minister of State. I mean, these are some of the information we are receiving, that these people are expected into the country. So, I mean, like we said, I mean, the meeting of the Council of Foreign Affairs Ministers is starting today at 5 p.m. and then QTV will bring you live updates regarding the formal opening of that important meeting today and tomorrow. And joining me on this platform, I have my colleagues Julden Jai and Ansumana Eswanyasi. You have heard from, I mean, from the CEO himself, I mean, the Minister of Information, Fali Fadera, and Lasana Tunkara, giving us that timely updates just to make sure people are on top of issues as to what is going on, and then our level of preparedness. Ansumana, your take on what you have heard so far from those officials, especially saying as we speak they cannot confirm the heads of state who are coming. We can confirm that the president of Turkey, Erdogan, is not coming, but the foreign minister is already in the country. And earlier on we saw a post where they said, I mean, you know, he spoke with President Barrow over the phone and trying to apologize and, you know, trying to share with him the reasons why he couldn't make it to the summit. But overall, that 48 hours to the summit, and they still cannot confirm who did it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember during our deliberations yesterday morning, we did really talk about how, you know, this summit is happening at a moment when there's a lot of things that are going on, you know, especially on the global stage. And Turkey, of course, Erdogan's absence would be quite notable. He's a leading voice as far as the Muslim Ummah is concerned.
They've been trying to voice the summit from the start.
Indeed. And so it's you know, no surprise that his absence, you know, is making some noise. But I think at the end of the day, we still have to appreciate that he's individually, I mean, personally reached out to our head of state to say, even though I wouldn't be able to make it to Banjul, maybe these are perhaps my reasons, but you can be assured that whatever relationship we have would be further strengthened, and that I have my chief envoy in Banjul to be there for me. However, I think for me the key highlight in this press briefing is, you know, what the information minister did say regarding how Gambia, known for our hospitality, have taken it upon ourselves to ensure that guests who are coming, delegates, that we're taking care of their accommodation as well as their feeding and all of that, including their transportation, which I think is quite commendable. Usually, we know how these conferences and summits would happen. I mean, many a times it is left onto the member countries to take care of some of these things, and so I think that on the part of the Gambia government, I think is quite commendable. As to them not being able to confirm the number or perhaps who is coming and who is not able to make it regarding the heads of states. I think to some extent it can be very much understandable, and hopefully by the time, the summit starts, we would get to know who is actually coming and who is not. But from what we've received so far, it appears the majority of the presidents or heads of states who have perhaps confirmed that they would attend in person are from Africa.
And for me, Julia, the most important thing is that, all the countries are represented. Just having a prime minister or maybe just having the foreign minister of that country come in, that shows that that country is represented. Perhaps, not all the presidents can be here, considering what is happening around the world. But for you, what's your key takeaway from the press conference?
For me, really, the key takeaway from the press conference is for the fact that 48 hours to the main summit, knowing the fact that there are no problems registered and all the logistical arrangements are in place. For me, really, that's a good one, because really, in as much as we are really looking forward to everything that is happening as a country, we are really anxious to really know that whether we will be able to host all these people and we will be able to give them accommodation and feeding as well. But I'm glad to know that, feeding, accommodation, everything is in place for the people that are coming, in as much as transportation, in as much as the CEO did mention that, some of them might be coming with huge delegation, 20 or more, which is really a huge number. But I'm glad that everything is in place, and for the fact that everybody is it's called on board to come and support. Let us rebrand or brand Gambia. Let us showcase the beauty, hospitality of the Gambian people and the Gambia as a whole, which I think that it's a collective effort, and each and every one of us should contribute their quota, like we've been mentioning since the start of the program, that it's not about a political party. It should not be a politically affiliated summit. Really, it's a Gambian thing, and all of us have a role to play in us to making this summit really a success. So I'm glad that really everything is going fine. The only thing that one would have expected first is that by now they would have confirmed the number of the heads of state that are coming into the country. But I understand also it's it has to do with security reasons. You can't disclose it. We are in a fragile world. You can't easily disclose that the president or the vice president of a particular country coming into your country is a high level meeting. And for the fact that the security also, because most people are concerned, about the security of the heads of state that are coming into the country. But I'm glad that the CEO did mention that security-wise they are prepared and everything is in place.
Indeed, security-wise they are prepared. Just within the premises here, I mean, you could notice that there is security everywhere. Exactly. So, Ansumana, dégg nga ñoom ñëpp nañu wax ci press conference boobu noonu jógee ko ambassadeur Yankuba Diba ñoom Fally Fadera ak ñoom Dr. Ismaila Cissé di wane ne fu mu nekk mun nañu wax ne all the 57 members of the OIC yëpp seen njiit yi wala seen representative yëpp am nga ñu ngi attend summit bi nii waaye mu ngi wane tam in terms of arrangements protocols yi so aga si airport bi naka ñu la war a receiver ba escort la ba sa hotel yëpp is in place. Lan nga jàngat si li nga jot a déggagum si ñoom yëpp as far as the latest updates about the hosting of this summit is concerned?
jërëjëf Aliou foog naa dafa dal xel pour déggee si kilifa yooyu leen xamal ñu ne juróom fukk ak juróom-ñaari réew yi nga xamante ne ñoo bokk ci OIC bi réew bu nekk am nga ko la toogal fii Gambia si jamono ji ñuy wax ak yéen foog naa loolu am na solo torop te loolu rek wane na ne daal fi mu ne su dul leen sax bu ñëwee ne amaagum nañ ndam ci loolu waaye tamit xam nañ ne ni yaa ngi laajte fi mu ne ñaata njiiti réew ñoo ñëwagum wala ñooy ñëw ñoom nag wane nañ ne jamono ji mënuñoo fësal kan ak kan mooy ñëw wala kan du ñëw ak mënuñ cee wax daal lu bëri waaye luñ xam daal am na ñoo xamante ne déggal nañ ne ñoom dinañ ñëw waaye am na tamit ñoo xamante ne ba tey mënaguñoo déggal ndax xam nañ ne war a yëkkati njiiti réew yi indi ko sa beneen réew dafa am lu bëri li moo laaj spécialiste ci wàllum logistique ak yu demee noonu waaye tamit kenn koo xamante ne foog naa depuis démb ba tey coolaa ngi bëri nit ñi di laajte ndax dina ñëw naam du ñëw mooy président bu Turquie ñu xamee ko ci président Erdogan moom nag gis nañ xibaar bi nga xamante ne moo bàyyeekoo ci bërëbu liggéeykaay njiiti réew mi di wane ne daal am na jokkoo na ak ki nga xamante ne mooy président Barrow tey ci téléphone wane ne moom du mën a ñëw waaye ki nga xamante ne mooy jawriñ bi ñu dénk bu wàllum bitim réew ci biir Turquie jamono ji moom mu ngi ko teewal fii ci biir réew mi te loolu tamit gën naa wax tamit ci li nga xamante ne mooy jéego yi nga xam ne pare na koo jël pour gis ne digëral na diggante réew Gambia ak Turkey.
Why just pour interject si li nga wax diggante Gambia ak Turkey. I mean kenn du question I mean lan lay sekkoo ak Turkey dañu war a xam ne Erdogan ñëw na Gambia. He made a special state visit to the Gambia. So lolo mungla wane, I mean, he holds the Gambia at a very, since the Gambia as an important ally of Turkey.
President Erdogan ci kàddoom jamono bi moo wax ak président Barrow wan na ko ne lépp loo xam ne seex nañ ko moo xam ndax liggéey la moo xam ne luy dëgëral diggante ñaari réew yi ñun pare nañ pour def suñu kéemtulaay kattan gis ne gën nañ koo dooleel kon loolu mu ngi laa wan ne fulal na réew Gambia fulal na tamit summit bi gannaaw loolu dégg nañ ci jëwriñ bi nga xam ne moo yor ci tuuri nguur moo yor làmmiñu nguur di docteur Ismaila Ceesay moom wax na ne réew Gambia ndax dañoo xamee teral gan dalal gan ak li nga xam ne mooy jàmm ci biir loolu ndaje mel ni bu amee li ci ëpp réew yi nga xam ne ñoo ñëw pour daje ci barab yooyu leen ñoom ñooy amee seen bopp ci wàllum dunda ak ju demee noonu waaye réew Gambia ñu xamee ñu ci li nga xamante ne mooy taranga nguuri réew Gambia taxaw na gis ne képp koo xam ne mooy ñëw ak sa délégation bi nga àndal nguuri réew Gambia ak ñi nga xam ne ñoo liggéeyal fii ci biir réew mi taxaw nañ ci gis ne ñoo leen amee ci wàllum dunda ci wàllum dem ak ñëw ci wàllum tamit dëkkuwaay foog naa loolu maa ngi ko doog a dégg for the first time.
waaw because ñu laa wan ne like bu dee like président buy ñëw la. waaw yow ak 4 people. government of the Gambia ñoom ñooy take control of full board moo nekk fi nga dal fi nga lekk. waaye yeneen delegates yi bu dee foreign minister la yow ak benn nit bu dee prime minister nga the same thing waaye bu dee président yow la ak 4 other people government of the Gambia ñoo responsible fi nga dëkk ak li nga lekk yëpp. ñeneen ñuy ñëw nag yow tam soo ñëwee mun naa am lekk bi moom gars yi mun nañ ko provide waaye bi nga fi ngaa dal loolu yaa si responsible parce que soo waxee da ngaa responsible pour ñëpp tam loolu tam beneen waaye point naa tam even soo demee OIC sax loolu moo nekk ni ngeen doxalee ak dégg yes it doesn't matter.
waaye nag lu am solo la te foog naa ñun ñëpp dañu war a ndamoo jamono ji maa ngi bàyyi xel julle sànqare bi ma wax mu ngi wax ne dañu war a lépp loo xam ne moo fa lañ utee daal ci gis-gis dañ ko war a tegee boor jamono ji ñëpp bennoo gis ne réew Gambia dooleel nañ ko waaye ci gàttal daal foog naa lii la meeting bi nga xam ne ñi nekk ci ay borom la mu tànk ci nguur yi bokk ci OIC démb am nañ ko gis nañ ne gars yi dañ fa nekk ba boori fajar ndax gis naa fan lii mu ngi doon post around 3 am di wane ne ba tey gars nga fa kon loolu rek moo laa woon am fulla bi nga xamante ne lii am na ko waaye tamit meeting bi nga xam ne meeting bu am solo la daanaka boobu mooy set agenda bi pour njiiti réew yi buñ dajee mooy Council of Foreign Ministers yi seen meeting bi jamono ji ñu ngi ko taxal ba juróomi waxtu ba si tey bii kon foog naa lu bëri moo nekk di xew fi mu ne waaye ci gàttal daal lii lañ mën a taataan ci li nga xamante ne gars yi gaaral nañ ko ci
lu am solo just earlier on time ñu ngi gis ak nga ne moo nekk the Secretary General of the OIC Secretariat I mean Hussein Taha egsi na gis nañ convoy ma baa ngi dugg si biir ko am ne mu ngi jógee Tchad waaye Julde I mean yaa mooy ñu lu bëri yemen for press conference Bilateral what's your key takeaway yemen boo fajee so far the level of preparedness I mean who they're expecting in the next 48 hours I mean in terms of I mean attendance ala kumeya okay one will say okay it doesn't matter whether the presidents are here the fact that you have a representative from your government coming in I mean what is more important is to make sure there's action taken on the outcome of the summit wala gana kumayata
kumayata ali comme ya fo nyame doron anon CEO fana ya fo nyame Yankuba Diba comme ya fo nyame doron ku kilindal meme yalon ko akumayata bakele wolen ko mol membina luntangol membina ila tani nabe sone yalale ila domro fana be sone yalale andi fana be la ila ladula fana o mukulati meme yalon ko akumayata bakele o fana ba tekke yalale especially luntangol men kam yalon ko mansallem ani mansala mol meme yalon ko walle mansanyin dandan o keta kuma yarin baleti ani fanan aya foko komin ko melbina Gambia Dr. Ismaila Ceesay kuma fo men kuma ya tabake wolin ko ntolbe ye nyanto soto le nyin bengoto pour ka make so ke bengo nyi yeke success ti bengo nyin ay ta kairala ay na kairala ay banning kairala ngamra ntolbe Gambia no nga fenko soto nga wala soto de nyin bengoto pour ka make so le bengo nyin successful tale komi nga fonu ko madorong nyin manke politique woti akumayata pour nga politiko fay jana nga focus ni Gambia la I think wo kuma yata bakele ni yata da mole Gambia le je mol man politiko je doron ko nyimbe sone yala anda bina kaira bita kaira nun tangol bina la le nge bendu nyanta ke bendu nyamen yeta itol fana nin to kendo yeta kan tulun tango kufula dara e buko bondato nana ta korosiro abokelal ando ay menje abita wala fola so wala na kuma yata bake ni nata molye terrain molye bunya ko min Gambia lo nyame bunya dulalen aketa banko mi yalon ko mol e bunya soto bakele anu mol fana bete ata bakele ning luntango natan ke mutale ko ite nin tolbe dula kilinne ite manke luntango to so kuma yata bakele andu fana ye kumo fo mitino tolete saintembe tembo menta ite fem fono la molye senior government official la mitino kata nyame wala tata nyame wala ite fem fono no la mol because kunu ngajele ko be nun janne fano ifani keta janne ye kachani jam fata diamol siata bari ite fem fono la nyun tumando wala na wala fango ya sabu fa wala na nying foreign council meeting ministers foreign council meeting no fango leta sa instead of ayna so manda sa bina talandulo la womu kukuma balti ngajele ko komin ko molye silomenta wala ning importance of this summit akuma yata bakele amanke hani Gambia no fangoti but even more delegation on melnata ya itandile ko nyi manke Gambia kuti nyi mu dula mo be la ko surtout islamic o di umma akuma yata bakele so aliou pour ka fodoron katenteng Dr. Ismaila Cisse fana ya fole ko wolen ko information minister ka foko atede alata le ko Palestine issue musol ni dinningol la ko be kala ko ultime me yalon ko ita bondila ni ndiya moto ngol yalo ne ko Palestine la kilometer le and every summit wo ka mention jele bari tumando nyinang ibe gana focus la ko nyinto kantu ngalol ne ko kelo nyin datitale kabrin last year andu mo jama fata jele so ngalon ne ko komin ko Palestine ko nyin anin Gaza ko nyin ate kala ko mi yalon ko e ba ko mandila abe kala nyatu ko wolti nyin bengoto anu nyin diya mo fananto.
Quite interesting. Well, viewers, you're still watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we are broadcasting from the OIC Conference Center here in Bigilo. I am Aliou Cisse, and like I said, the Gambia is hosting the 15th OIC Summit, which is the Organization of Islamic Cooperation founded in 1969 following an arson attack on the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is the third holiest site as far as Islam is concerned. And then the main purpose of the OIC is to promote peace and stability and promote cooperation within the Ummah. But certainly, I mean, people will say the OIC is just 57 member countries. But beyond that, I mean, we see the OIC as a global body because, I mean, even though you have countries that are not part of the OIC, I mean, we still have Muslims in those countries. And then whatever is being discussed here, I mean, has a direct impact on that, but also it also resonates around their views as far as what is happening around the world is concerned. So suddenly, so many countries are following, and they will be interested in the outcome of this summit because, I mean, whatever decision is taken here will impact directly or indirectly on them. So viewers, we will go with a short break. We'll be back at exactly 5 p.m. for the formal opening ceremony of the Council of Foreign Affairs Ministers, which is starting this evening at 5 p.m. and of course continuing tomorrow. And then on the 4th and 5th, Saturday and Sunday, is when we will have the main summit of heads of state and government. We'll go with a short break and then we'll be back at 5 p.m. Until then, enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.